we are. The 2022 final series is underway for 2022, and it's going to be great. I'm so keen for week one. It's going to be, look, as always, finals is a fantastic event. If you're not looking forward to finals, then what kind of fan are you? Because I think this week's going to be a cracking week of footy. Massive games, massive, sort of contest matchups, however you want to put it. It's going to be a great weekend in general, and I'm looking forward to finals for 2022. Unfortunately, this time last year, fortunately enough, I was, at this time last year, I can still remember Manly being in the finals, but I'm obviously not there this year, which is unfortunate. But other than that, it's going to be a good week of football. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a massive, massive round ahead. So, it's my finals week one NRL tips of 2022. Obviously 4 games this week. I'm going to 3 out of the 4 games, so I'll reveal them once I get into my tips. But before I start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the channel because I'm currently at 2,275 subscribers. I'm pretty sure. So my goal is to sort of get to 2,300 by late this week or early next week. That's been a little bit of goal for me for a little bit of a while now, 2,300. So I just like to say I appreciate all the new support, all the new feedback, new comments from different people, fans of the channel. It really means a lot to me and the channel in general. So just want to say if you're new, consider subscribing because obviously I do non-stop consistent daily content of NRL in general. So just if you're enjoying what I'm doing, then I could consider it. But without further ado, it's time to get into my finals week 1 NRL tips of qualifying finals. So the very first game, finals for 2022 kicks off for the Battle of the West in Penrith. I'll be there, and that is the Panthers taking on the Eels. All right, here we are. The kickoff of the finals of 2022. It is the Panthers taking on the Eels at Bluebet Stadium in Penrith. There, happy to announce that I'll be actually at this game in attendance. I got my tickets this morning, and I'm really keen to go there because it's gonna be a sold out crowd apparently. That one and the Sharks Cowboys game will be sold out, and I'll be at both those games. So luckily I got my tickets just in time. And Roosters South, so I expect to probably sell out over the weekend or whatever. I'll be at all those 3 games, and I got my tickets just in time before any other sellouts or whatever limited ticket availability came. So just very lucky. And also got to say that I will be doing many vlogs this weekend on all 3 games, and I will be traveling, being there with many other YouTubers that I'm sure we are all aware of Nick from Australia, CJ Moxley, Luther King. I'll be meeting him for the very first time. All that Champers there as well. And it's going to be a massive event. Keen to meet up with all the boys again and like last time. And it's going to be a fun weekend. Just looking forward to it. Got the tickets all set and ready to go. So I'm looking forward to the weekend ahead. But going to get through both sides just quickly. So looking at the Panthers team, the home side, Nathan Cleary will be returning back this week. So that's a big in for the Panthers, having Cleary return. And funny enough, he actually got suspended against the Eels the last time he played as well. So see how he goes against them this time around. So he'll be back with Luai in the halves. Coruscant ankle and bench forward Spencer Lunu's shoulder also returned after missing the Cowboys game due to injury. So they're pretty much full strength from what it looks like for the Panthers. Not much concerns there. And as for Parramatta, Brad Arthur has named the same 17 that got the job done against the Storm to snatch the 4th spot on the ladder, and on the back of 5 wins as well in the last 6 matches. And Nathan Brown's listed as 18th man after making a successful return from finger injury in the New South Wales Cup on Saturday. Wow, big game ahead. Panthers have already been defeated by Eels twice this year at Penrith and CommBank. Which, Para do turn up for games against Penrith in the Battle of the West. It's obviously a really big and anticipated match. And, I can see why Para have already beaten Penrith 2 times this year because they turn up for those sort of games. And they can't beat anyone on their day at Para. They play well. But my tip for this game, I'm going to lean towards Panthers here. I think Panthers, for me, will be a bit too good at home. I think they'll like to start off the finals with a win at Bluebet in Penrith. And, I think they'll be on their way to a preliminary final. So they'll get the week off while Para have to play week 2, in my opinion. So I am going to go with the Panthers here to win 1-12. Going to say Panthers by 10. So maybe like a scoreline of 26-16. And my first try scorer is going to be through Stephen Crichton in the centres. And my anytime try scorer is going to be Jerome Luai and Viliami Kikau for Panthers. And as for the Eels, my anytime try scorers for them, going to back in Tom Opacek, and I'm going to back in Wagga Blake as well. Okay, on to the second game of Finals Week 1 on the Saturday now. So there's obviously 2 games on the Super Saturday, or not really Super Saturday anymore since we're not in the regular season. But what I'm trying to say is that, 2 games on the Saturday for Finals Week 1. And that does kick off with the Storm and the Raiders taking on each other at Amy Park. Then obviously after, the Cowboys will take on the Sharks at Shark Park there. But first of all, the 5:40 game, it is the Storm versus Raiders at Amy Park there in Melbourne. 5th versus 8th. No one expected Storm to finish 5th this year. I think most people expected them to finish in the top 4, like myself and many other people would have as well. But obviously injuries haven't helped their season this year. And obviously, Melbourne, I guess they're aging a little bit as a club. I reckon they're still a good team, but some of their players are definitely getting a bit older as the years go by and definitely aren't as destructive as what they used to be. As for Canberra, people can consider Canberra lucky in making the finals, but lucky for me, I actually had the Raiders making the top 8 this year. I had Raiders 8th. That was a bold prediction of mine, and I got it correct, so glad to say that. But they've already beaten Melbourne this year, which was an upset. So can they sort of repeat that? Have to wait and see. But getting through the Storm team first, Jerome Hughes has been named to return after missing round 25 of calf tightness. So Cooper Johns goes to the reserves, and Kenny Bromwich head knock and Nicky Meaney's shoulder should be right to go after they were injured against the Eels. As for the Raiders, after being rested last week, playmaker Jack White and experienced back row Elliot Whitehead are back on the deck for the trip to Melbourne. And CH Head and Corey Harawira reverts to the bench, and Matt Frawley goes to reserves, and Albert Whitey is 18th man. And that's the teams right there for both Storm and Raiders. And who am I going to tip? It's a very tough one because I believe that both sides are definitely capable of beating each other, but obviously one side has to win, of course. But for me, I'm going to tip the Storm here. I think Storm Melbourne should be a bit too good. I don't think Melbourne would like to get out the first week of finals. While it is pretty much possible that they can get eliminated the first week, I do think the Storm make a statement after losing to Eels last week, and obviously have been the best of recent form, been a little bit patchy. So I think Melbourne, finals week 1. Obviously want to get redemption over Raiders last time since they beat them in Melbourne back in round 18. I think Storm will get the job done here. So I'm going to go Storm here by 6 points, 1-12. Going to say a scoreline of 16 points to 10. Might be a low scoring game in my opinion. And I'm going to go for first try scorer David Nofaluma there, playing his first final series ever in his NRL career out of 180 something games, and that's unbelievable. So I think he'll kick off the finals for Saturday with a try there. And anytime try scorers for me are going to be Justin Olam and Xavier Coates and Munster. And for the Raiders, I'm going to go for Matt Timoko and Hudson Young, since he's been in good form in try scoring recently. Alright, on to the very last game of Saturday for Finals Week 1. It's a game I'm going to be at with many other lads as well. Obviously on Friday for Panthers and Eels, I'll be there with all the YouTubers and mates there as well. But again, for Sharks and the Cowboys at Shark Park, which is also sold out, we'll be there. We'll be there in attendance as well. So, Sharks versus Cowboys at PointsBet Stadium there in Cronulla. I was only there a couple of weeks ago for the Sharks and the Bulldogs, and it's a very nice ground in my opinion. Really like the outlook of it for being there the very first time, and obviously it wasn't quite packed, but it was definitely, it wasn't quite sold out, but it was definitely packed though. So, and since it's going to be a sellout this weekend, I'm looking forward to seeing what the actual sort of ground looks like at full capacity, so it should be good. But yeah, look, as for the Sharks finishing second this year, Sharks have done a really good job finishing second this year. They're definitely overachieved in a good way. And, look, they've done a really good job this year, the Sharks. I think they have gelled really well. And they're a team that I feel like, can definitely go the whole way if they can, sustain consistency and keep the full team at full strength. As for the Cowboys, who are finishing third this year, they've been probably the surprise pack of the NRL this year. They've been really good. Cowboys are just, fantastic this year. I had them for the wooden spoon. I totally regret that now, but it's good on them for finishing third this year. I think they're going to be a real threat to the title as well. So, without further ado, going to go through both sides. So for the Sharks, CSC Vitalakai, is racing the clock to be fit for Saturday after he suffered an ankle injury against the Knights. Now, look, Sifa Talakai was obviously injured and didn't look good on the floor when he got injured against the Knights, so there is a chance he might sit out for this game, but we'll see what happens anyway. He's been named to play, but yeah, we'll see how he goes during the week, I guess. 4 big ins for the Sharks as well. Dale Finucane ribs returns. Will Kennedy ankle is back as well, and Toby Rudolph and Conor Tracy both returned from a knee and concussion there, all back on deck. Karen McInnes and Braden Havlin-Ueli revert to the bench after starting last week. Lockie Miller goes to the 18th man role, and Matty Cavalli and Tolman go to the reserves list. And as for the Cowboys, not much changes actually. Cohen Hess returns from a 1-game suspension, so Jermaine Sunura-Brown goes to 18th man in the only change to the sides that beat the Panthers in round 25. So not many changes there for the Cowboys, which is a good thing. It's a tough one. This is very tough to pick. It's going to be very hard to know where I'm going to lean here, actually. It's not an easy game to tip at all. I think it can go either way, and I really think that it can definitely be a game that can go on point as well. But who am I going to tip? Look, it's hard. It's very hard, but I'm going to tip the Sharks here. I'm going to tip the Sharks here by 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win. Now, I'm obviously barracking for Cowboys. It's in the finals along with the Sharks. I think they're the two sides I'm sort of barracking instead of Penrith to go the whole way. But I do think at home the Sharks might want to start off like finals well there at Shark Park. And, I'm not really like Cowboys at all, but I just think the Sharks, for me, are the team that I feel like will be a little bit too strong there. But as for the Cowboys, they were to lose anyway. I still think they'll get to the preliminary finals, in my opinion. So I'm going to go to the Sharks here by 2. Probably going to go with a scoreline of 20 points to 18. And my first try scorer will be through the Cowboys, although, so it'll be a bit of a surprise. And I'm going to go with a bit of a bold one here. I'm going to go with Luciano Leilua in the back row to score the first try. And my anytime try scorers for the Sharks are going to be Will Kennedy in his return and Ronaldo Mulatalo. And for the Cowboys, I'm going to go with also Tulangi, and I'm also going to go with Felt for anytime tries. Sharks by 2. And on to the final game of Finals Week 1. It is a very big game, and it's fantastic to end the first week of Finals with a rivalry game, just sort of capping it all off the weekend. It is the Roosters taking on the Rabbitohs at Allianz Stadium. So it will be my first time in attendance at Allianz Stadium, which is great because I've always wanted to go to the new Allianz Stadium, and I guess I get to go there this weekend. So, that'll be fun, and it's going to be a good game, this one. Obviously, it's elimination finals, 6th versus 7th. And, I can tell you this, right? Whoever loses, I think the fan bases of either Rabbitohs or Roosters are going to go absolutely mental and go off. I mean, one's obviously going to rub it into the other side's face or fans if they win. And obviously, whoever loses is probably going to get, it's going to get pretty heated, I think, between both fan bases because it's such a big rivalry game, and a lot will happen, I reckon, for the second time coming since they played each other just last week. So, looking forward to this one. Looking forward to being there again for the third game of Finals Week 1. I'm attending. So, should be good. 4 or 5 p.m. Cannot wait on the Sunday. So I go for the Roosters team here. The Roosters have Joseph Manu sidelined here with a calf strain, obviously, so he'll miss 2 to 3 weeks for that. So that means Paul Momirovski shifts to the centres to take Manu's place, and Daniel Tupou groin and Joseph Suwali shoulder returns but to both wingers. Kevin Nguama moves to the 18th man role. Victor Rayleigh returns from a concussion, so Sia Takeaho goes back to prop, and Matt Lodge goes to the bench. Prop Jarrell Rea-Hargreaves hamstring and hooker Sam Verrills have been named despite suffering injuries in round 25, and Adam Kieran has been named on the bench for his third game of the season. And as for the Rabbitohs, skipper Cameron Murray has been named to play and will go through concussion protocols after suffering another head knock on Friday night. So if he's ruled out, Jai Arrow may switch to lock, and David Wiley could come into the 17, and hooker Damien Cook returns after overcoming COVID, which may have missed the rivalry game last Friday. So Sevilla Havili goes to the interchange bench, and Peter Mamouzelos drops out, and Campbell Graham is back on deck from a head knock injury, and Jackson Pulo goes to reserves. Very big game. Such a hard one to tip. Found it very hard tipping at first, looking at both sides and how it could all pan out. But my tip for this game, I'm going to tip the Rabbitohs to get redemption this weekend. I think the Rabbitohs will come out and beat the Roosters here. I know the Roosters were obviously too good for South last weekend. Tedesco and Walker ran rampant over them. But I think what South would realise is that Latrell's kept quiet. Walker tried really hard, but obviously they couldn't get enough out of them too. So I expect them to really fire up this weekend and see the Rabbitohs to win. And I think having Cameron Graham back, and I guess having also Damien Cook back as well, that's some big ins for Souths. And I also think that losing Joseph Martin is just a big blow as well. Like Momirovski and Hutchinson as centres, I don't know if I can fully trust their defence. So yeah, I think South will score a couple of tries in their back line, to be honest, over the Roosters. So I'm going to tip the Rabbitohs here by 12. I reckon Roosters will suffer a 12-point defeat to the Rabbitohs, and I think South will actually win pretty well. So I'm going to tip Rabbitohs here by 12, like a scoreline of maybe 24 points to 12. And I'm going to go for first try scorer. He was kept quiet last week for try scoring, but I think Alex Johnson's going to score the first try this weekend for the Rabbitohs on Sunday. So AJ for first try, and my anytime try scorers for the Roosters, I'm going to go with Joseph Suaalii in his return, and I'm also going to go with Angus Crichton scoring another one from last week as well. And I'm also going to go with anytime try scorers for South Sydney, Cody Walker and Campbell Graham in his return. But anyways, everyone, that's my finals week 1 NRL tips for 2022, my qualifying tips. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. So, keen for finals, let's go.